For those of you that watched my last video, you'll know that it ended with me throwing a track on my mini excavator, which has caused the wood storage area clearing project and groundwork there to grind to a halt. So I gotta get this fixed in order for me to continue that project, and I'm gonna take the first step today. So if you look here, you can see that the track is thrown, and in particular, it's like wedged in there. Like, this thing weighs like 300 or 350 pounds. And it's wedged in there pretty good. So I'm gonna need to hook up a come along or something to that and try to get it pulled out. I'm gonna take this in steps, so that'll be step one today. God damn, that thing is heavy. 350 pounds doesn't sound like that much just dragging it across the ground, but it is just so unwieldy. There's a couple of moments where I wasn't sure I was gonna be able to get it by myself, but with the help of a come along, I was finally able to drag it out of there. There's 3 steps to putting this track back on. Step 1 is shortening the assembly that the track is run on. Step 2 is wrestling that track back onto that assembly. And then step 3 is re-expanding that assembly so it tightens the track. You're looking at the front assembly that holds the mini excavator track into place. And I had to take it out because there was a problem with it, but I thought I would talk about how it works because it's kind of cool. So the track itself has a groove that running down the middle, and that groove sits right here in this wheel called the idler, and that keeps the track from sliding off on the front. Now the track is tightened by this piece here, which has a piston in it. That sits here, and you pump grease into this fitting here that pushes the piston out and pushes the wheel forward. And the problem was that this piston had already been pumped full of grease and pushed all the way out, and it was stuck. And so I had to take it to a shop and get them to fix that. And basically what that means is that the old track was just too stretched out to be of good use anymore. So I've got a new track on the way that I'll be replacing it with. And one other piece that I decided to replace is this, which is called a top roller. And this sits in the middle where the track is and just kind of helps keep the track rolling smoothly. And that's it. So I've got to get this thing on and get the new track on, pop this guy back in, and we should be back in business. This mini excavator has, without a doubt, been an awesome addition to my tool set out here in the woods. And not only that, but it's also been a lot of fun to learn how to drive it and to get more competent on it. But there's another side to my relationship with this machine that I haven't really talked about.
And that is basically from the day that I bought it, I've had a kind of underlying anxiety or a sense of mild overwhelm when I think about it, which really comes down to this simple fact. This is a huge machine that is incredibly complicated and that I barely understand, which led to thoughts like, what if something really big goes wrong on this machine? Am I going to be able to handle it? But something has slowly started shifting for me as I work through solving this first big problem of the thrown track. And that is that the sense of underlying anxiety has been slowly dissipating. And instead, in its place, is this growing faith that if something else big goes wrong, that I'll be able to handle it. I can handle it just like I'm doing with the track. I just take it one step at a time, and if I get stuck, I pause and work through that piece and then take the next step. It's kind of amazing when I think about it, because the mini excavator has been what it has been the entire time I've owned it. And the only difference between how I have felt before and how I'm beginning to feel now is that I've had more direct contact with it, just directly engaging with an actual problem. And it just completely shifted my mental state. It went from my mind modeling everything that could go wrong to my mind becoming a step-by-step problem-solving machine. Much more effective way to relate to it.
Thanks to the magic of video editing, that repair you saw took just a few minutes. But in reality, it was almost a month between the time I threw the track and I got this new one on and working. There was a lot of bumps in the road. There were times I got stuck and didn't know what to do next. There was a few parts that needed to get addressed and fixed besides the track. But I did get it done, even though it took a while. And I'm really proud of myself, especially the last part, getting that track on by myself. That thing weighs 330 pounds, and it was quite an effort to heave it up the slope there and get it wrestled onto the mini excavator. At this point, I think I want to take a break from dealing with the Mini and working in the woods. I'm really not in the mood to have any major breakdowns again soon. So I'm going to pivot, and in the next episode, I'm going to start work on the movable wood storage box. I got to get that done anyways, and it'll give me a break from the earthwork.